if you were here with me.
Oh man, I mean the Peruvian food. I'm going to answer your question. I've not had Peruvian food in a while.
Yeah, okay, I think that may be my answer too, although this slushie is just what I needed. I didn't know I needed it, but it is amazing.
That slushie looked really, really good. What are you smelling?
Ben Weinman, Kathleen Dozier, and Elena Margot, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local Montana at 6.
Well, good Friday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight right here on NonStop Local. I'm Ben Weinman. Welcome to the weekend, everyone. And tonight we're going to start by heading to Ogren Park, home of the Missoula Paddleheads. A food truck festival is underway on the ball field, all to help support a really good cause in the Garden City. And that is where we find our weather forecaster, Elena Margot, joining us live from the field this evening. It's a great night to be out of the ballpark, and she's joined by a special guest.
Yeah, hey Ben, good evening to you. Ogren Park is the place to be, not only in the Missoula Valley tonight, but across the state of Montana, all for a really good cause. I'm joined here by Jasmine, who is the Development Director of Cancer Support Community Montana. Jasmine, could you tell me a little bit about what that organization does for Montanans here in the area?
Yeah, we provide the psychosocial and emotional support programs for Montanans impacted by cancer, so not only the person with the diagnosis, but anyone in their support system. So support groups, one-on-one counseling, education, wigs, retreats across the state, you name it, we're here for it.
Wow, and it sounds like all of those services are free of cost to the Montanans that need the help?
Yes, completely free of charge programs and services. We don't ask our participants for $1, but they are not free of cost.
Okay, this is true. So this brings us to why we're here tonight. This is, of course, a fundraiser. There's a ton of food trucks behind us. So can you tell us how the cash flow works between me ordering a burger and you guys getting some proceeds to help with your organization?
Yeah, so the wonderful food trucks that are here with us this evening agreed to donate 20% of their proceeds from this evening back to our organization, which is huge. So huge shout out to them, and thank you for making that happen with us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's huge. Thank you so much for talking with us today. And Missoulians, if you're watching this on TV, come out, say hi to Jasmine, say hi to me, and get some yummy food this evening. Jasmine, thank you so much. We do have to talk about the weather, so we'll let Jasmine go and do her duties. She's kind of running front of house. She's given out tickets, stubs, and she's, of course, taken dollars in. So this is a great event, and we are so excited that Missoulians are coming out in full force. Let's take a look at the nitty-gritty of the forecast, starting you with a live look here at Ogren Park. If you squint, you might be able to see me, but of course, I'm kind of joking when I say that when I use my Stockton Bank City Cam, although sometimes it is true. We'll take a look at the Mission Range this evening as well. Mission Range looking fabulous. A little bit of cloud cover and a little bit of wind across the state of Montana. That, of course, not keeping anybody from having a good time this evening. Happy Friday to you all, and happy Friday especially to those who are taking part in this evening. Severe threat for the rest of the evening does not include people attending this event. A chance for some electricity in the air across the High Line and into areas between Billings and Miles City. Current satellite radar picking up on just a little bit of moisture in and around the Kalispell area. Other than that, dry conditions and cloud cover just creeping into western Montana. For the most part, wet conditions in and around Glasgow, between Glasgow and the Canadian border. Of course, it's Mother's Day weekend, so if you aren't celebrating this awesome cause here and you're getting ready to celebrate Mom, well, I've got a great forecast for you. We've got temperatures soaring to the 80s, if you can believe it. It's going to feel like summertime. I'll be back with that.
A fun time down at Ogren Park. Elena Margot. We'll check in with Elena coming up in a few minutes, folks. Let's get to some Big Six headlines for you. On this Friday evening, we begin tonight in Anaconda. Newly unsealed documents revealing more about what investigators say happened inside the Owl Bar the day of the shooting, including new details about the suspect, Michael Paul Brown, and his interactions with police after he was captured. Our DJ Bauer joins us now with a closer look at what those documents actually reveal.
Now, new information brought to light by the unsealed documents reveals more details about what exactly transpired in the Owl Bar on the day of the shooting, as well as what Brown told police after he was captured. According to the affidavit, police reviewed surveillance footage from the Owl Bar showing a suspect identified as Michael Paul Brown entering the bar around 10:30 a.m. on the day of the shooting. Video shows Brown entering the bar carrying a pizza box, bucket, and brown paper bag, using those items to light a fire in the middle of the bar. The bartender, identified as Nancy Kelly, tried to put it out. Brown left, then returned moments later with a rifle in hand, firing at the 4 others inside the bar before fleeing. Police say when they arrived, one of the bodies was on fire, and medical personnel pronounced all 4 dead on the scene. Later on, around noon, officers say they saw a man matching the description of Brown driving off in a white Ford F-150 pickup truck, later confirmed to be stolen. They pursued him into the Stumptown Road area west of Anaconda, where Brown was eventually captured after an 8-day search. Although the newly unsealed documents do not provide further details about the manhunt or how Brown was apprehended, they do provide statements given by Brown in an interview with police after his arrest. Per the affidavit, Brown admitted to the 4 killings in the Owl Bar, saying that he personally knew all 4 victims and, quote, really liked them. It goes on to say Brown offered reasoning for his actions, stating that he was the rightful owner of the Owl Bar and that bar owner David Werder refused to give him the property title. Documents show Brown also told officers that a jukebox in the bar was digitally brainwashing him and that he had started a fire inside the bar because he wanted the jukebox gone. Brown also admitted to taking the white pickup truck without permission, saying that he fled out of town so that no one else would be hurt if additional gunfire with law enforcement occurred. Now, this unsealing comes after Wednesday's status hearing, in which state prosecutors requested another status hearing in 60 days as Brown undergoes both mental and physical treatment at the state hospital before standing trial. Reporting in Butte, I'm DJ Bauer for NonStop Local.
DJ Bauer, appreciate reporting tonight. Thank you. Let's move on this evening. We are continuing to see a growing concern in bear country after a missing hiker in Glacier National Park was found dead in what investigators believe was a bear attack. The remains were discovered Wednesday near the Mount Brown trailhead, about 2.5 miles, from the trailhead near Lake McDonald Lodge on the western side of the park. Now, officials have not yet confirmed the identity of that person that was found, but the discovery comes during the search for 33-year-old Anthony Polio of Florida, who was reported missing earlier this week after telling others he planned to hike towards the Mount Brown fire lookout. And NonStop Local is your election headquarters, bringing you everything you need to know in the world of politics here in the Treasure State. Today, voters have a little bit more insight on their Democratic choices for Congress following last night's debate at the Emerson Theater in Bozeman. Our Michael Teeple, he was at that debate last night. He joins us this evening with more on what each candidate had to say up on the stage.
The Emerson Center for the Arts here in Bozeman played host Thursday night to Montana's first congressional district debate between 4 candidates, all hoping to represent Montana in Washington, D.C. Candidates include Sam Forstag, Ryan Bussey, Russell Cleveland, and Matt Raines. Each took time to discuss why they are running, what they plan to focus on with their campaign, and even what sets them apart from those they're running against.
Let's reform our tax system. Let's make sure that nobody making over $1 million a year is paying a lower share of their income than somebody making $80,000 a year and barely getting by in this state.
One of the main topics discussed was each candidate's desire to make Montana lean a little more Democrat.
Better times are coming. I can feel it in the wind. I know all of you can too. We're about ready to plant a blue flag here in western Montana, something we haven't done for a little while.
Candidates also discussed their vision for health care and child care.
Passion as a dad, sitting inside that hospital room, holding my little girl's hand as she took her final breaths, losing her fight to one of the nastiest diseases that just last year, pediatric cancer research was one of the first things that DOJ cuts. That is why I'm in this race. Not to go take a position in Washington, D.C., to take a desk, but to fight for real change.
And towards the end of the debate, perspective was shared on the war in Iran, with a call for conflict to end.
This is why we have to flip this seat. The urgency has never been greater. We have to put checks and balances so this doesn't happen, and we can make sure that Congress takes back the power to declare war.
Polls for the upcoming primary election will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on June 2nd, while the next Republican debate will be held on Wednesday, May 13th, starting at 5:30 at Superior Elementary School. Reporting in Bozeman, I'm Michael Teeple for NonStop Local.
Michael Teeple, thanks. Let's stay in the Gallatin Valley for this next story. Caps were flying across Bozeman today. Thousands of Montana State University students celebrating commencement. MSU holding their 144th spring commencement ceremonies today at the Brick Bearden Fieldhouse. More than 2,700 degrees expected to be awarded today. The university split that day into two ceremonies. Students from things like business, engineering, and agriculture graduated this morning. Arts, education, sciences, they were honored in the afternoon. Family and friends you see here, they just packed into the Brick today to celebrate the class of 2026. And those celebrations will continue tomorrow on the other side of the divide in Missoula. The University of Montana will hold their spring commencement ceremonies. Full details on those ceremonies can be found on our website, nonstoplocal.com. Let's go beyond the big sky tonight. The widely used education learning platform Canvas experiencing a nationwide disruption. Now, this is happening as universities across the country, of course, they're in finals week, even holding commencement ceremonies like the Bobcats today, the Grizz tomorrow, something both students and staff say made the outage a lot more difficult to deal with.
I'm an online student, so most of my grading and exams and homework is all based through the Canvas platform. So I think that especially during finals week, hearing about, the hacker perspective of it, as well as it being a nationwide issue, posed anxiety about potential data breaches, of course, but also just the anxiety of, are students going to be able to submit their assignments and get their grades in on time? And hopefully, it doesn't affect their GPA. I definitely heard quite a bit of student anxieties.
As you can imagine, when the primary communication method for instructors and students goes down in the final days of an academic semester, it can be a little disruptive, but it's back online, it's functioning, and we believe that there's just minimal disruption.
Well, as of today, Canvas, as you heard, is back online and functioning again. Area universities like Montana State and Montana say their systems are back up and running. Okay, a lot of news tonight, folks. We're just getting started, though. After the break, we're going to head back out to Ogren Park at Allegiance Field. Elena Margot joining us. Full check of your Mother's Day weekend forecast. Keep right here. We'll be right back.
Cancer Support Montana knows how to throw a party. I am here. I found one of the brand new things going on this year, mini golf. So I'm not a golfer. I'm not going to lie to any of you. And I don't even know the last time I mini golfed. but I'm going to give it a go, so maybe you can come and do a little bit better than me on this. Here we go. I'm going one-handed because I am holding the microphone. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was really expecting to epically fail on this. Here we go. Something tells me that's like called a birdie or a hole-in-one. Something tells me that's not called a hole-in-one. Anyway, we're having a lot of fun. Of course, this is Mini Golf Missoula. They're doing a lot of fun things, like they're having mini golf at the Roxy and then playing Happy Gilmore on Sunday. Does it get better than that? I don't know. Maybe this event sounds even more fun. So come on out, spend some money at the Food Truck Festival here in Missoula. Again, if you're tuning in from the Gallatin Valley, the same thing's happening at the Gallatin County Fairgrounds on May 29th. That's a couple Fridays from now, so mark your calendars on that. And of course, it's Mother's Day weekend, so let's start by taking a look at local weather headlines across the state of Montana. Highs tomorrow back to the 60s and even 70s across the region. But for the most part, the hottest day will be on Mother's Day itself. We do sustain in that above average temperature pattern as we move into the early part of next week. Good news is that rain should develop in north central Montana. The rest of the evening tonight, unfortunately, under a red flag warning between Glendive and the Canadian border extending into North Dakota. That's due to gusty winds, a good chance for some isolated thunderstorms, and humidity as low as 10% in that northeastern portion of the state. Moving into our Futurecast models, we do have a little bit of rain, but that's good because our drought monitor as of late still picking up on extreme drought between Cutbank, Great Falls, and Dillon. Best conditions between Missoula and Kalispell, and that is actually improving since last week. Moving into our Futurecast models, we do have rain developing over Great Falls, Helena, and Lewistown over the next couple of hours, extending down into Red Lodge and sweeping eastward over the next couple of hours. Middle of the night tonight, Great Falls to Lewistown with a good chance for heavy rain that localizes into the Miles City, Jordan, and Broadus areas by tomorrow morning. Lingering showers between Great Falls and Havre, Montana. Then high pressure swings in tomorrow evening and leaves us with dry conditions and warm conditions as we move into Mother's Day on Sunday. Going to be one for the books as we see high conditions moving back into the 80s, and even next week could see the low 90s, although there is a chance for some of that to change between now and then. As we move into the next couple of days, things will dry off, so the best chance for rain will be overnight tonight. Moving into wind speeds, not a major factor. Could see 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts developing in some of the region, but it shouldn't be a problem because that will develop in the central portions of the state that are notoriously windy. Moving into lows tonight and highs tomorrow. Lows tonight should dip down to the 40s statewide. It'll feel a lot like last night did. Moving into tomorrow's highs. Tomorrow we will see daytime highs back into the 60s, which is actually pretty close to seasonal averages as well. Although Missoula, Kalispell hanging on to that sweet summertime feeling and keeping temperatures in the 70s. Next 7 days, there's a good chance for 80s to redevelop as we move into Sunday. Of course, that's Mother's Day, and then sustained highs could see a 90-degree Wednesday in Billings, and of course, conditions staying dry across the state of Montana. That includes Cody and West Yellowstone and Livingston, where we do see daytime highs sustained in the 80s as soon as Sunday in that same temperature pattern into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but by this time next week could see highs cooling down to the 50s in areas like Missoula. Kalispell sustained highs this week as well. Dry conditions and widespread sunshine. It's going to be a really nice one across the state for Mother's Day on Sunday in both Helena and Great Falls. The best chance for Great Falls to see rain going to be on Saturday. What about conditions for our friends in Lewistown and Glasgow? Conditions are also going to be fabulous for Butte and Bozeman. Now, I did not necessarily win this, but it is my new friend, maybe a little bit shy. I've also created the most popular hole here at Mini Golf. Something about the dinosaur, and I think this young one maybe is doing a better job than me. Oh yeah, he actually did get the hole-in-one that I've always wanted. So we're having a lot of fun here. Kids of all ages, adults of all ages, and food trucks for literally everybody. I'll be back later in the
Well, tonight we have our latest Help Me Ben story talking about Catholic schooling here in the state of Montana. We are so close to the end of the school year across the Treasure State before the kids go on summer break. But for one school out of the Electric City, this will be the last 4 weeks of classes forever. Recently, a viewer named Amy Lonke reached out to the Help Me Ben team to share that after 60 years, a Catholic school in Great Falls, St. Patrick's Academy East, is suddenly closing due to financial hardship. In the email you're looking at, Amy said this decision is, quote, against everything the Catholic faith stands on, end quote. We're going to bring in our Michael Santaskoy tonight, joining the Help Me Ben team. He reached out to Amy herself, trying to learn more about the financial numbers and the decision to close the school for good.
St. Patrick's Academy East, formerly known as Holy Spirit Catholic School, has been home to many students, faculty, and staff for generations, but now its future is uncertain after a letter was sent out in March.
We were sent a letter letting us know that due to financial hardships that we would be closing the school down.
A shockwave surging through the school, leaving some faculty heartbroken about the announcement.
We've all grown very close together, and we've become a family in our own right, and the fact that not only are we have to find jobs somewhere else, but we have to leave each other in order to do that.
Amy Lonke, whose child attends St. Patrick's Academy, says a finance council member told families in a March 25th meeting that the school was about $400,000 short of what it needed to keep operating. She adds no one was made aware of the school's financial challenges prior to the meeting. Lonke says parents, teachers, faculty, and staff from the school rallied together to come up with solutions to try and save the school. But any marketing or fundraiser had to go through the Diocese of Great Falls and Billings for approval.
We reached out to the diocese for, loans or kind of financial help, and we've been denied. We tried to do some fundraising efforts, but I was informed that, at this time the bishop is not willing to reconsider his decision.
Then last month, the Holy Spirit Parish received this letter from Bishop Jeffrey Fleming of the Diocese of Great Falls and Billings, confirming the closure of the St. Patrick's Academy East School at the end of this year. This decision affects 141 students and numerous teachers, all needing to seek new schools or employment.
It's going to hurt a lot of our Catholic kids to be able to have that schooling and that foundation.
And there's just a large level of uncertainty facing the next school year, what we're going to do. Are we going to be able to teach? Are there going to be positions open for us?
I went to the diocese office to find out if anything was done to try to keep the doors open at the school. I did get in contact with Father Doug Krings for a statement. He says he has nothing to add at this time. For now, parents and teachers tell us they're hoping someone can step in to assist the school in any way they can. Reporting from Great Falls for NonStop Local, I'm Michael Santaskoy.
We'll keep tracking it, Michael Santaskoy. Thank you for joining the Help Me Ben team tonight. And by the way, folks, if you got a problem, you need some help, or hey, you simply just have a cool story, I want to hear about it. You could be my next Help Me Ben. Visit our website, nonstoplocal.com, and click on the Help Me Ben tab. Hey, welcome back, everyone. For tonight's Share the Good, we're going to take you out to the ball game or the food truck game one more time. That is where we find our Elena Margot joining us from the ballpark with a special guest this evening. Hi, Elena.
Hi, Ben. Good evening to you. I've made a new friend out of Debbie here. Debbie was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago, continues on the fight. Debbie, can you tell me a little bit about your cancer fight?
Well, I was diagnosed in 2001 with breast cancer. I had 3 surgeries in my lungs. I got through it, and then it came back in 2 years in my liver. I had half of my liver there, and then I thought it was going to be done. And then it came back again in 2 years, in 2 places in my liver and 1 in my spine. So now I'm on what we call palliative care, which means I'm on treatment until I decide to want to do it.
And it sounds like you actually use services from the cancer support community. Can you tell me what services you utilize?
Well, I do counseling. We have a really good gal there that's wonderful. I always feel amazing. Her name is Emily. Give her a shout out. She's wonderful. And I just met her and her mom and dad today.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy that you're here, and we're so happy that you are having a cold beer here this evening with your husband. Tell Missoulians who are sitting on their couch why they should come out tonight.
Because it's a wonderful evening, and it's a great event, and the Cancer Center, or the Cancer Support Group in Missoula, is awesome.
Awesome. You're awesome. And thank you for being here. Thank you for representing. And thank you for keeping that fight on. All right, this is Debbie. I'm Elena Margot here at Ogren Park. We're going to send things back to Ben in studio.
That's awesome stuff, Elena. Thank you very much. Hey, if you battle cancer and you beat it, I think you earned a beer. Probably multiple beers. And hopefully you're enjoying your favorite beverage on this Friday evening as we get into a beautiful weekend of Mother's Day across the Treasure State. Congrats to all the graduates. All those Montana moms out there, we love you. Thank you for everything you do for us. It's going to be a fun weekend across Big Sky Country. For our entire statewide team here at NonStop Local, I'm Ben Wyman. Don't change the channel. We're going 360 at 6:30 right after this.
Ben Weinman, Kathleen Dozier, and Elena Margot, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local Montana at 6:30.
Well, good Friday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight right here on NonStop Local. I'm Ben Weinman. It is 6:30. I mean, it's time for our 360 story. Tonight, we're taking a look at tourism. The summer season is quickly approaching here in Montana, and that means more people are coming to visit us in the Treasure State, enjoy the scenery and the beauty that our state, of course, is known for. Tourism, it can be very beneficial, according to research done by UM at the Institute for Tourism and Recreation Research. Tourism has 3 major benefits. It improves amenities such as local roads and parks, it boosts our economy, and helps with sustainable management. All 3 contribute to the overall quality of life of people living here in Montana. In terms of the economy, 48,000 jobs in the state are supported by this economy, while 1 in 12 Montana workers are supported by out-of-state travel. And it's not just specific workers who feel the benefits of tourism. Montana households experience their taxes reduced by almost $930 on average due to tourists visiting us. Now, of course, there are some challenges when it comes to tourism, including housing issues, oversaturation, and political and regulatory issues. But Montana residents largely feel the benefits that come with that outweighing the negative impacts. And different regions of Montana experience different kinds of tourism. The national parks, Glacier and Yellowstone, they bring in a massive amount of tourists every single year. People come to Montana to see natural monuments like Old Faithful and Logan Pass, as well as animals like bison and wolves and bears that feel synonymous to these parks. And according to the National Park Service, Yellowstone brought in 4.5 million visitors in 2023. Glacier National Park, almost 3 million. And during that year, the outdoor industry contributed $3.4 billion within the outdoor recreation sector, making it third in the country for GDP contribution. Here in Montana, these national parks, they are so important that they're bringing in bipartisan support. Recently, Montana Representative Ryan Zinke introduced the Greater Yellowstone Recreation Enhancement and Tourism Act. It would make nearly 100 miles of the Madison and Gallatin County rivers and streams absolutely protected. The representative says that, quote, striking the right balance between conservation and multiple use of our resources is the Montana way. Madison and Gallatin counties both rely on these waters for irrigation and energy, but also for the outdoor recreation economy that fuels small businesses and draws visitors from around the world. However, places outside of the parks also experience their own unique kinds of tourism, supported by large events like festivals and concerts. For example, in Missoula, the university hosting some major names this summer at Washington Grizzly Stadium. They're going to bring in new revenue to the University of Montana, as well as new visitors into the Garden City. Here's Marcus Wellnell, the Chief Revenue Officer of Montana Athletics, talking about the impact.
So the revenue-wise, I mean, you can look at for sales. I mean, we try to revenue about $5 million per concert-ish. So that's kind of just rough numbers, maybe a little bit less for some concerts, but I mean, that's kind of the goal. I mean, it's great revenue sources for them to bring all these tourists and people into town. So everyone working together, and that's what's great for the community to have these concerts.
And these positives can also be seen not just from these specific concerts, but across different things in the Treasure State, like the Big Sky Documentary Film Festival that takes place in Missoula, or the Montana Renaissance Festival in Billings. And the Montana Department of Commerce is investing in tourism within the Treasure State through its Montana Tourism Development Grant Program earlier this year. We're going to show you on your screen here the 7 different organizations that are receiving some of that funding. Each one is getting $1.25 million for a total of $8.75 million allocated. The Department of Commerce's director attesting to the importance of this program. In a statement, she said in part, quote, developing tourism in a sustainable and manageable manner boosts Montana's rural and under-visited communities by diversifying local economies, fostering community pride, and creating tourism destinations that represent the qualities that make our rural communities special. And with fluctuations in both weather, developments in the Middle East, many want to know the impact of those rising gas prices and other challenges on our tourism industry here in the Treasure State. Here's Jeannie Ladd, a certified travel consultant at Destination Montana, talking about the challenges that a lot of folks might be facing this year with travel.
As far as tourism, I feel, well, this winter, I don't think was a good winter for us. We did not have near the snowpack we usually have. And obviously being, snow skiing being our number one winter, that was definitely, I would say, down a little. Most of our visitors are coming from out of state, where gas prices are generally over $4, and then even California went up to almost $6 a gallon. Montana, we are still at $3.80. So anybody coming into Montana is still going to be paying less for gas than they are from where they came from. So do I feel that is going to be a deterrent? The gas prices, I don't feel that that's a deterrent.
Well, since then, gas prices per gallon here in Montana have risen about $4. Ladd emphasizing the importance of just planning ahead, advising travelers to consider weather changes and gas costs when visiting or traveling through our beautiful home. And as the current war in Iran evolves, the tourism season for this summer is still up in the air. However, what isn't is how many parts of Montana rely on tourists to support our local economy and our Montana way of life. Okay, folks, we're just getting started here on NonStop Local. After the break, weather forecaster Elena Margot joining us. Longer look at the rest of your forecast. Adam Rodriguez.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. Let's talk local weather headlines as we kick off Mother's Day weekend here in the Treasure State. Rain to develop in north central Montana, spanning out into areas of south central into the eastern plains by tomorrow morning. Highs to the 60s in most major areas, 70s between western valleys. But again, we should be in the 60s for this time of year, 80s as we move into Mother's Day. That might bring a smile to some moms' faces, so we will let it slide as Mother Nature brings those hot conditions in for Sunday. Red flag warnings in play for much of the Dakotas, and yes, the tippy-top northeastern portion of our state between Glendive and the Canadian border. Potential for winds to gust to 40 miles per hour, not to mention a chance for thunderstorms and humidity as low as 10% in this region, tracking this through 8 o'clock in the evening Friday night. We do desperately need the moisture. Latest drought monitor still tracking the worst conditions of all in and around the Dillon area between Great Falls and Cutbank, but we have improvement over the last couple of days. We did see this patch not colored in by yellow expand from just Missoula into the Flathead and Mission Valleys as we can see that clearing. So we do desperately need the moisture, but we are improving in the northwestern portion of the state. Over the dinner hour here this evening, Friday, Great Falls to Helena to Bozeman with a chance for some passing showers. That system moving into central Montana by 11 p.m. this evening, then phasing again into the eastern plains by the morning on Saturday. So the best chance for Miles City to Broadus to see heavy rain, a slight chance for brief showers between Lewistown, Great Falls, and the Billings area into the morning. By the afternoon, isolated showers still possible, but you can see a ridge of high pressure building in that clears things off and brings us hot conditions as we move into Sunday with widespread sunshine. Don't forget your SPF and don't forget your water bottle. Moving into Monday, a chance for more rain to develop and sweep across the high line. For the most part, though, Monday into Tuesday should be a fairly dry one across the state of Montana. Wind speeds not a major factor, 10 to 15 miles per hour, at least in western Montana for the rest of the night tonight. Lows tonight to the 40s and 30s across the region, 39 Dillon, 54 though for Billings. Highs tomorrow only to the 60s in most major areas. That does not include Missoula, Kalispell, where we should return to the 70s. 80s as soon as Sunday, Monday in Billings and Miles City with dry, hot conditions sustained into next week. Cody, Livingston also with highs in the 80s next week. Widespread sunshine and very little signs for incoming rain. Missoula, Kalispell also with daytime highs to the 80s, at least in Missoula. Kalispell could see that on Tuesday. Helena, Great Falls to the 80s as soon as Sunday, returning into that pattern by Tuesday. Butte and Bozeman on a similar trajectory, dry, hot conditions as we move into the coming week. Same for Lewistown, same for Glasgow. Next 8 to 14 days should be warmer than average statewide.
From the SWX Sports Studio, this is SWX NonStop Local Sports.
Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Adam Rodriguez, and on the show this evening, we've got plenty to get into. Starting off, Big news out of Glacier High School as the defending Class AA state champion. Glacier Wolfpack will begin the 2026 football season without head coach Grady Bennett on the sidelines. The Montana High School Association suspended Bennett for 2 games following a recruiting violation investigation involving the Glacier football program. The ruling came after a formal protest from Big Fork High School and an MHSA hearing held in April. According to the MHSA, the violation involved rules prohibiting schools or school representatives from encouraging students to transfer for athletic reasons. Bennett will miss Glacier's season opener against Billings West on August 28th and a September 4th matchup at Bozeman. Wolfpack, they're coming off a perfect 12-0 season and their first Class AA state football championship since 2014. All right, let's talk some track and field now. And yesterday we looked at one of the best field careers that has been put together by an athlete that has repped the maroon and silver. Well, how about a career that's still young, but the numbers would look to say otherwise? Sophomore sensation Kyle Jorg is rewriting the Montana record books one throw at a time. The Grizzly standout launched the javelin 240 feet this season, the second best mark in Montana history. And with the postseason approaching, Jorg isn't just dominating the Big Sky Conference where he ranks first, he's also making noise nationally, sitting 10th in the NCAA West region. For Jorg, it's proof that all the extra work is starting to pay off as he continues to emerge as one of the top young throwers in the country.
Honestly, I think the biggest difference from this year from last year is the energy and our team's ability to come together and build off each other and throw in the throws and everything. Our throws team has gotten super close this year, I think, and it all stems from Coach Cole pushing the culture and stuff. Trying to keep the same mindset, trying to keep doing the same training I've been doing, follow the same stuff that's been working, trust our training, trust our coaches. Yeah, no, super excited to get out of the conference and ready to compete.
Now with the Big Sky Championships right around the corner, Jorg has set sights on even more. After climbing to the top of the conference rankings this season, the sophomore says the goal has been the same since day one of training back in August. Put himself in position to win it all, and with the way he's been performing, he enters next week not just as a contender, but as someone fully expecting to be in the mix when it matters most.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we work for. We come out in August beginning with one goal in mind, and that is to go out and win gold and chase gold. So yeah, a win next week on Friday would mean the world, and it's what I'm working for this year, and so that's the goal.
The track and field season, along with the entire spring sports season, they're soon coming to a close, and one standout track and field athlete from Laurel will be looking to defend 2 of his state titles from a year ago, as our Johnny Day has more.
Laurel's Bridger Burrows has quietly become one of the state's top jumpers in the last few years, but the senior has his eyes set on a pair of big-time Class A records at the end of May.
Yeah, I just basically want to break both of them, honestly. I've been working kind of hard trying to stay healthy, you know. It's just kind of been battling that a little bit, but
both of those records he is referring to are the Class A long and triple jump state records that have stood for nearly 50 years. Burrows took home gold in both events last year, coming less than 2 inches away from breaking the triple jump record. Burrows says that he thinks about breaking the 2 records quite often.
Basically all the time. I mean, every practice I try to, get better from the last practice or recover, and that kind of stuff.
While Burrows still has business to take care of before he graduates from Laurel, he looks forward to joining Montana State in their track and field program next fall.
I'm really happy that I got the chance to go there and, got a scholarship with it. I'm excited for the just higher level of coaching and higher level of competition.
Burrows, who was also a standout on the gridiron for the Locomotives, has always wanted to attend Montana State. But now he gets to follow in his uncle's footsteps, who was also a member of their field team.
I would say probably for my uncle. He jumped at Montana State as well. I really like fishing, and there's a lot of good fishing there, but they got a new facility for indoor, and it's just really, really nice. I really like the coach. He seemed like very knowledgeable, and
Burrows hopes to add his name to the record books at the Class A track and field state meet in his hometown of Laurel, May 28th through 30th. Reporting in Laurel, Johnny Day, SWX.
All right, thanks, Johnny. Now, while the Montana softball team fell just a game short of playing for a conference title. The season's turnaround definitely did not go unnoticed in Pocatello. A pair of Grizz came up big on the conference stage and brought home some recognition, earning postseason honors after their strong run at the Big Sky Tourney. Sophomores Anna Cockhill and Grace Lopez are bringing postseason honors back to Montana after both were named to the Big Sky All-Tournament team following the conference tourney in Pocatello. Cockhill put together a historic performance for the Grizzlies, hitting 3 home runs in Montana's opening round win over Weber State, becoming the first player in program history to do it in a single game. She finished the tournament with 5 RBIs and 5 runs scored. Lopez was just as important to Montana's postseason run, driving in a team-high 7 runs, including a clutch 3-run bomb in the Grizzlies' comeback win over Northern Colorado. The sophomore duo helped Montana win 3 postseason games for the first time since 2021, as the Grizzlies wrapped up their best conference season since 2019. Break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. All right, time now to take a quick look at some softball action taking place in the Treasure State as we go on over to our Josh Dugan, who's got a look at a crosstown matchup in the Electric City, and then our Dominic Delfidio gives us a tease at Columbus versus Manhattan.
Round 1 of crosstown softball took place here in Helena this week with the Bengals beating the Bruins 9-8 Tuesday. And now today I'll be heading up to Great Falls for the Electric City crosstown softball matchup between the Bison and the Rustlers. The Rustlers enter this one with a 9-3 mark overall on the season, while the Bison are 3-10 on the year. CMR is currently riding a 3-game win streak, while the Bison are coming off a win over Fergus after previously losing their last 7 contests. So that was a big win for the Bison to get back in the win column. That all being said, one of my favorite things about Crosstown Week is you can typically throw the records to the side, forget about it. These rivals are going to go out there and leave it all out there and look for a W, so don't count out the Bison today, as they're going to come swinging out the gates looking to steal Crosstown bragging rights. And for the Rustlers, this is a big game as CMR is currently sitting in 3rd place in the Eastern AA standings, as they've taken a big leap since last year after only winning 2 divisional games all of last season. All in all, it should be a lot of fun in the Electric City today as the Bison and Rustlers square off on the diamond for round 1 of Crosstown. That all being said, we will have the highlights here on SWX later tonight. That'll do it for me, Josh Dugan for SWX.
The Manhattan Tigers have emerged as a powerhouse in Class B softball over the past few seasons, and they look poised to make another run at a state title this year. But before we talk state tournaments, we have to get through the regular season, and the Tigers have 3 games left in their regular season, and it starts with their last home game tonight against Columbus, and it's a big one because the winner moves into the 2 seed in the Eastern BC standings. The Tigers come in having won 5 of their last 6. Meanwhile, Columbus looking to win back-to-back games. We'll have highlights from this one later tonight right here on NonStop Local. Reporting from Manhattan, Dominic Delfidio, SWX Sports.
All right, thanks, fellas. All right, let's go to the rink now and talk a little bit of puck. In Montana high school hockey, there's no bigger individual honor than being named Mr. or Mrs. Hockey, an award recognizing the top players in the state for their performance, leadership, and impact on the ice. This year, that honor belongs to Missoula standouts Gabe Shepard and Aubrey Vicari, two players who helped continue the growth of hockey across the Treasure State.
I mean, I was really excited to get it. It means a lot to kind of represent Missoula and represent our team, and just really excited and felt really good about getting it. Because I have a number of people I think it could have gone to as well. So the fact that it was me definitely means a lot, and just, like I said, representing Missoula and kind of our team.
I was extremely excited and very grateful that people were able to notice all the hard work that I put in. I mean, there's a ton of people that deserve that award, and I think it's just extremely exciting to be able to be named that. There's a bunch of girls that earned this or could have earned it, and they all put that effort in, and for me to be able to put the effort in and be noticed throughout all the fight and hardships throughout the season, I think is just extremely cool and exciting to see from the coaches and everybody.
And that's part of what makes the honor so meaningful. With hockey continuing to grow across Montana, both Shepard and Vicari know there were plenty of players capable of earning the award, but after months of hard shifts, tough competition, and leading their teams all season long, the recognition stands as proof their work didn't go unnoticed. And now, as Mr. and Miss Hockey, both players hope their success can inspire that next generation of hockey players.
It's extremely cool for me to see. I mean, when I started, it wasn't a huge thing. I grew up playing with all the boys because we just didn't have a huge girls program, and just be able to see how women's sports are progressing throughout the years, it's a bright future ahead for everybody and gives more opportunities for younger girls.
It means a lot too. I think we have a ton of talent on our team coming up, and there's a bunch of guys in my head that I could think that would go up and could be Mr. Hockey, and they have potential to be state champions, and there's just a lot of talent below us.
All right, let's talk some rugby. As the Missoula Stampede, they're headed where no Montana high school rugby team has ever gone before, nationals. It's a milestone years in the making for the program, as the Stampede became the first team from the Treasure State to earn a spot on the national stage. For a group that's been building from the ground up, a non-traditional Montana sport, the moment is bigger than just wins and losses. It's history. And for the players who've helped get them here, they say it's still sinking in what this opportunity really means.
Well, we're all really just excited to go. I mean, all of us seniors, we've been playing for a couple years, and we've been there with the other seniors where they didn't get the chance to go, but we finally did. But it's just we're following in their footprints and going where they couldn't go.
Special feeling in all of us, because all of us, the biggest games we ever played in were in representative tournaments, but as a team, we only ever really played in state. This is the biggest opportunity we've been given as a team, so we're all pretty excited.
Now with nationals on the horizon, the focus shifts from celebrating the achievement to preparing for the challenge ahead. The Stampede are now stepping into a much higher level of competition where speed, physicality, and execution are all magnified. Training has ramped up with a sharper edge, cleaning up details, tightening communication, and getting used to the pace they'll see from the country's best programs. And while they'll be representing Missoula on the field, they know they're also carrying something bigger, representing Montana rugby on a national stage for the first time ever.
I mean, obviously it comes feel a lot of pride with it, because I mean, I grew up here, and just being able to put Missoula and Montana on the map, I mean, it feels amazing. And for pressure and stuff, I mean it's a big thing, but playing rugby, don't really feel any pressure. It's a game I love, so kind of figured out all the pressure. Now, ever since we were told we're going, we've all locked in. We're fully bought in now. I wasn't sure about it before, but now I'm sure the entire team's bought in and ready for this. And we've been pushing each other all in practice, just running a ton extra times here at the pitch, just doing more than we were before.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here at NonStop Local. We appreciate you tuning in at 6:30, but be sure to tune in later on this evening, because we're going to have plenty more news, weather, and sports to talk about. We'll see y'all then.
Ben Weinman, Kathleen